the powerful propaganda machine of the West will make you believe that on Earth, there's only a few places to be, and that's the Western world. When it comes to democracy, when it comes to way of life, when it comes to equality, when it comes to education and science, that's what they want you to believe. And they have succeeded thus far until maybe recently when we discovered social media and when we can interact with one another and when we can see how the countries we've idolized live, and it was an eye-opener for many people. And now specifically you see the back and forth between different countries like China and the US. If you remember when TikTok first came about and people were showing China, a lot of the world were shocked, right? And as well as Africa, you'll see a lot of African countries. And in the comment section, you can read and watch how people are surprised to find out there are beautiful cities, landscapes, countrysides to African countries outside of the usual mainstream media propaganda that they've been watching, like the kid with the fly on his face, the famine, the war. That's the only thing they will focus on. And for the longest time, we thought the grass is greener on the other side. Of course, there's still some positive things to it, like living in the Western world. We can mention a few that the West is doing really well, even with its faults and not so great ideologies. This Chinese man has recently gone viral for showing or teaching specifically Americans, because they were challenging him about the Chinese way of life. This is what he had to say about the way of life in China versus the United States.
In China, almost 100%, so maybe 99.99% Chinese family and the Chinese people, we all own savings. If we don't work 1 year, 2 years, we will not be homeless or go bankrupt. And over 95% of Chinese family, we all own our own homes, and we don't have property tax. Our daily cost is very low. Also, like in countryside, like me, I was born in countryside. I have my own land, my old house in countryside. Those house and land will never be bought by capitalists or oligarchs. They will be mine till the day I die. And 100% people like me born in countryside, we will have those properties. So that's how China protect people's basic human rights.
There are so many things that we were told that we believed, right? This man basically said, yes, our income might not be on average bigger than yours. We might not have some of the things that you have, but look at what we have. And it's a privilege when you think about it. This man has a property to live in until the day he dies. It's not going to be taken away from him. There's tax is less, and even the poorest man in China that is only getting $5,000 a year still has his property, still gets to eat, and still sleeps. And the one fact he mentioned, I didn't know about, that I thought was incredible, honestly, is that if he said 90, I don't know how accurate his stats are, more than 90% of the Chinese people, if they lost their employment, they have a saving that will get them through 2 years. How many people can say, not just in the US, but the rest of the world, that even if they lose their job today, for 2 years they're okay because they were able to put aside money? Not a lot of people can say that in a lot of countries, but apparently that is possible in China. And as you could have imagined, his comment section is filled with people shocked and asking more questions and doing more research about this. So I guess the bottom line is what you see on this mainstream media platforms and what this country is portrayed to be is not necessarily the right picture of how the people live within the country and what exactly their freedom looks like. Yes, you might say in America, at least we have freedom of speech. We can speak against our government. That was true, and it is true to a larger extent, but think about it. Nowadays, can you honestly say you can speak your mind fully without any consequence on social media? We've seen a lot of people, their social media platforms have been taken away. They have been fired for questioning their Western democratically elected governments leadership, and they were not very happy about it. And it's basically, even if the West was proud to share with us how strong they believe in democracy and freedom of speech, what is really happening on the ground says otherwise. It's really changing, is what I'm trying to say. You can't speak about certain groups of people. You can't really question certain people. You can't even question Gates. I don't even want to say his full name, because whenever you talk about him, it's like you're shadow banned. So yeah, as much as there are good qualities in both nations, for example, if we're talking about US and China, you never get the full picture of how exactly the rest of the world lives versus these specific nations that have the power, the soft power to convince us that they are the best at almost everything. And it's getting exposed, and we love to see it, because the truth shall set you free. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.